Hey guys, Spud here. And well, I just got home from flying a long trip for the airlines after spending a few days moving to a new city. And so I've been away for DCS World for a little bit now, and I was all fired up to get back to making some awesome F-4E tutorials and make a video all about how I believe Cold War scenarios are now more fun than modern day missions now that we have the F-4E Phantom added to our stable of aircraft. But my hand has kind of been forced here, and I've been asked by many community members to add my voice and use my platform. So here we are, doing a video that I really don't want to make, and one that I've been avoiding making for quite a long time now. We need to talk about the F-15E and Razbam modules all together now. This video is not a blame game, nor is it about taking sides or slinging mud at anyone. From the little bit of insight that I have, it seems to me like the truth of the conflict, like nearly any other out there between individuals, businesses, countries, you name it, is somewhere in the middle between the two parties' stated positions. At this point, it's my belief that we can basically consider the F-15E Strike Eagle, the Aviate-B-NA, Mirage 2000C, and MiG-19 Farmer dead. And man, it's a real shame, and it's a massive hit to DCS World's aircraft lineup. And personally, a real bummer for me because as of a few weeks ago, we now have the trifecta of my three favorite aircraft of all time in DCS World: the F-4, the F-15E, and the F-14 Tomcat. 12-year-old me would have been screaming with excitement and grabbing onto my models to hop onto my desk and fly in my favorite aircraft, just like many of you guys out there would be as well. With the introduction of the F-15E by Razbam, on top of the already existing magnificent F-16, FA-18, F-14, and others, many in the community, the YouTube creator space, and even the wider mainstream media for normies were heralding a new golden age of flight simulation, just like the late 1990s, complete with an entire buy-in of hardware manufacturers like Winwing, and forcing legacy manufacturers like Thrustmaster to respond in order to take part in this new golden era. But unfortunately, there is now a palpable pall over this new golden era that understandably has many nervous about the future of DCS World and where things are headed for the entire combat flight simulation genre, because DCS really has no contemporaries. Sadly, this is not the first time we've seen the implosion of a third-party developer, and the death of the F-15E cannot be swept under the rug and forgotten as if it were some little trainer aircraft that no one is interested in, no one will buy, and even fewer will actually fly, like the VEAO BAE Hawk. And I have the stats here on screen to prove that the death of a trainer is a relative speed bump in the very early days of DCS, but the death of the F-15E is an unstoppable force careening into an immovable object. This is, of course, an American, 4th generation, teen series fighter jet, the most popular and best-selling segment of the DCS World market. And the death of this product, not to mention the rest of the Razbam catalog, really throws into question the long-term viability of DCS World as a product, and not just for us massive fans of DCS World, but also the hardware manufacturers and potential investors into ED third parties and those same hardware manufacturers we just mentioned. So, does that mean that over time, modules and third parties will come and go? What if the next time it isn't a personality or a business dispute, and someone falls devastatingly ill, and a third-party dev just cannot continue? Does that mean that their modules are left to slowly wither on the vine? As more and more parts of the module eventually become broken as the march of DCS world progress goes on and on? After the VEAO BAE Hawk disaster, ED did state that they would be looking to get access to the source code of the modules. But I can't imagine that means taking over the responsibility of finishing the development of an extremely complex 4th generation strike fighter. The fix for the Hawk debacle was being able to download a horrendously outdated version of DCS just to use that module in particular. And of course, no one cared because it was a trainer, so that eventually slowly died out. And that's not to minimize the grief and or frustration of those of you guys out there who were in fact fans of the Hawk. But here we are talking about the Strike Eagle, the very popular immovable object, not to mention the Mirage 2000 for our Francophiles, and the Harrier for our Crayon Eaters and Falklands Liberators. So, what now? What needs to happen moving forward? I was really dreading making this video. I have been a massive fan, proponent, and supporter of DCS World, Eagle Dynamics, and all third-party devs since the beginning of my channel years ago now. I have driven sales, helped countless new community members get up to speed in their new jet, and regularly host large community events for folks to enjoy the very best that DCS World has to offer. And this whole situation just really sucks. All we have heard from one side is understandably emotional accusations of wrongdoing, and from the other side, nothing but radio silence. So if the goal of behind-the-scenes negotiations is to return to the status quo antebellum, then I believe that both sides of the argument need to drop their hostility and come together to make a joint statement that they are working on fixing the dispute and the plan for moving forward with not just the development of the F-15E, but also the maintenance of the rest of the Razbam catalog moving forward. It is also my belief that there should be a disclaimer on the store pages on the ED website and Steam for the F-15E and other Razbam modules, as well as a refund program for dissatisfied Strike Eagle customers who may now never receive the product they paid for. I will also be removing all of my DCS F-15E Strike Eagle tutorial videos from my channel, in solidarity with Casmo and other content creators. However, the mission videos with the F-15E will remain because they are part of the ongoing storyline of my community's campaign. These tutorial videos will return when we are informed as to the status of the F-15E and its development, or we see F-15E features in a DCS World Update changelog. And beyond that, I think it's really important going forward for all DCS developers, fans, and players, as well as hardware devs to acknowledge and understand just how small the flight simulator market really is, and how tiny the niche within a niche the DCS community is. There's really not many people out there who want to devote their time to learning the startup procedure for an FA-18, and even less for a MiG-19. So all the devs, YouTubers, community members, hardware creators, and others need to put away all the pitchforks and support each other in this shared endeavor. Because if we didn't love it, none of us would be here.